All right, welcome to another video, guys. So, what are we? April 7th today? Yeah, April 7th. Well, most teams have about 2 games left. So basically, I'm doing another video, full sim of if the playoffs started today. These are all of the teams currently in the playoffs. The only question mark, as far as if they'll make the playoffs, are the Toronto Maple Leafs. But they're sitting in the second wild card right now. They got 2 games. I think they're going to be playing Pittsburgh tomorrow on Saturday, and then Columbus. They just need a point to get in, or a loss for Tampa Bay or the Islanders. So if either of those teams lose both of those teams need to lose at least 1 game in order for the Maple Leafs to make it in. They are currently 3 points ahead with 2 games left. So I don't know, man. Pittsburgh, I don't know. They're not easy, and they don't seem to be taking their foot off the gas lately. So I don't know, man. They're gonna have to pull off a win somewhere. If they don't pull it off on Saturday, they definitely must pull off a win on Sunday. But yeah, so excuse me. Man, I just got over a cold, and now I'm back on the cold. Like, I don't know what's going on outside. Anyways, so we're gonna do a full sim. I'm just not gonna sim through. I'm actually gonna go into the sim menu, and we're gonna see who scores, in the goal tallies and all that stuff. So the first game we got here, we got Nashville going up against the Chicago Blackhawks. So let's get into the sim. I'm not gonna sit here and I'm just gonna sim period by period. So first period, no score. Rasmussen scores in the second period. Oh, yep, they try to come back, Nashville, but Chicago's gonna take game 1. All right, so yeah, as far as Chicago's concerned, I think they'll take the series against Nashville. Yeah, I think Nashville can put up a surprise, but the most surprise they'll put up for me is a game 7. I think Chicago's more playoff built, and they should win that series, but we'll see what happens in the sim. All right, Calgary at Anaheim. I think Calgary could actually win this series. I think they can win it in the sim and in real life. Yep, they definitely take game 1. Did they play last night? Calgary. Yeah, I think they played, but they won. Who did they play? Did they actually play the Ducks last night? Let me find out. I'm sorry, guys. I know, but this is my video. I can do whatever I want. Excuse me, guys. I know Calgary won last night. I just don't know who they won against. No, they beat the Kings, and the Ducks won 4-0 over Chicago. Which, wow, that's a win. That's some win. Okay, Toronto. This is the question mark team. We don't know if they're in, if they're out. I hope they get in, man. Like, honestly, when the Toronto Maple Leafs make the playoffs, even though I'm not a Toronto fan, it's just a good series. I've never seen. Even if they lose, I've never seen a series that Toronto was in and was boring to watch. Even if they lose, there's just something about Toronto, man. I can't tell you, but let's see what they do. I think Capitals are going to win the sim, but I don't know, man. I wouldn't put it past the Leafs, man. The Leafs, they got some guys that could score, man. You never know, these young kids on the team. So Caps take the first game in the sim. With the young teams they got, the young players they got, that youngness, what do you call it? Like that excitement, or that what's the word? Oh, golly, can't even think of the word, man. During a live commentary on top of that. Anyways. The young hype, I can't think, bro. It's like an easy word. Like, everyone uses this word every day. Like when you're in a messed up situation, and then your adrenaline. There you go. See, I knew the word would come to me. I just had to keep speaking. But yeah, man, I think like that playoff adrenaline will kick in, and those young cats on the Toronto Maple Leafs, they might cause a scare for the Washington Capitals, even though they beat them pretty bad the other night. But hey, when it's playoff hockey, that type of atmosphere in the crowd and in the stands, you never know what's going to really happen. And so I'm not putting anything past the Leafs. They just need to make the playoffs. I even think they could still actually face off against, I mean, if they were to win, like if they were to win the next two games against Pittsburgh and Columbus, they could actually square off against Ottawa, which I think would be something to watch. But yeah, okay, next game. These are my Habs now. I'm rooting for the Habs, but I don't know, man. I guess, you know, I'll really know what the Habs are made of like 2 games into this series. Like 2 games into the series. Oh, goodness gracious. See, and this is the same exact stuff I'm nervous of. I just feel like, I don't know, there's too many players on this team choking it. For me, there's chokers on this team. I don't know, I'm just seeing certain things. Me, my wild card is Lehkonen. I think Lehkonen, and I think Galchenyuk. Galchenyuk's a playoff guy for me. I've been watching him the last couple of playoffs. He scores very important and key goals. He doesn't score a ton of them, but he scores normally winning goals. Like all of his playoffs, like 2013, he scored an important goal against the Ottawa Senators, which would have been the winning goal, but they just flopped. They just had a flop team that year. Going into the playoffs in 2013, the shortened season, the lockout season, like they started off really well and then ended off really bad or not too good. But here they're trending in the right direction, so I don't know. I'm just skeptical of the Habs, but let's see how they do in overtime. Okay, full. So 1 overtime down and no goals, and they flopped game 1. Goodness gracious. Up 3-1 going into the third. That kind of stuff can't happen, man. That's like playoff momentum gone. Like, can you imagine? You're up 3-1, you're on your way to game 1 win, and then you just lose in double overtime because you're flopping it. All right, Mini against St. Louis. It could go to 7 games, but I'm giving the edge to Minnesota. But I don't know, Bruce Boudreau, I don't know, he's not known for winning playoff series. Like, he always goes to game 7, so that's why I'm saying game 7, because Bruce Boudreau, he's always going to game 7. Like, he's never been swept, but he doesn't really win game 7. I don't know what it is about him, but yeah, he always goes to game 7. So Minnesota takes game 1 in the sim. I think they'll take it in real life as well. Oilers against the Sharks. Now the Oilers, I think they'll beat the Sharks. I think they're locked in. I don't think it's official, but I think it's pretty safe to say they're going to be locked in for a first round matchup. I think the Oilers will easily take the Sharks, only because, not because they don't have good goaltending, not because they don't have good defense and even good offense. I just don't think they're playing too well right now. I don't know what happened in the last 15 games. Yeah, I don't know if there's something going on in San Jose with the air, with the water or whatnot, but I don't know what's going on with the Sharks. The Sharks are like a very good built team, but they're not playing really well right now. This is not the time of year. You know, some players, you know, some teams, especially like if they're a team like Washington or Chicago, like a high tier team, they'll make the playoffs, and then like their fans would want the players to take days off and, you know, rest all your good guys. And I think there is a time in the season for that, going down the stretch. But you don't want to do that too often, because you don't want to lose momentum, number one. Number two, you don't want to lose your rhythm as a player. You're going into the playoffs with teams, especially if you're a higher tier team, you're going to be facing a team more likely that has been fighting to get into the playoffs, that didn't take any nights off, and they got their rhythm going, and they got their momentum, they got their confidence, and you don't want to be, you know, high boating or showboating, thinking that you know, just because you finish first in your division or even in your conference or even in the league, you don't want to, you know, go into that playoff series, you know, not prepared, because yeah, you could. That's how upsets happen. But In this sim, I think EA Sim, I think I've been wrong so far with the Sims, but I think in the sim the Sharks will take it. But in real life, I think Oilers pretty much got this. Like, I don't think they're gonna lose against the Sharks. And again, that playoff, what's my word again? That word keeps slipping my mind. I don't know why. But that momentum that they're gonna have, the fans, and you know, they're gonna be cheering on their team. I know the fans in Edmonton have been waiting since like 2006 to have a playoff series. So just give me 1 second here. Sorry guys, gotta step away from something here. Okay, so next game, yeah, that word I was missing again, adrenaline. Sorry guys, I had to step away for a minute. But yeah, I think Edmonton, they have that playoff adrenaline going, and I think they'll take that series. Pittsburgh's going to get through this round if they face off against CBJ. I don't know, the sim might be a little different, but I don't know. Pittsburgh's just playing good hockey right now. Like, I wouldn't want to face them in the playoffs, but I mean, if you want to win the cup, you're probably gonna have to get past Pittsburgh. But CBJ will take game 1 in the sim on to the Boston Bruins and the Ottawa Senators. I don't know. I think this series can go either way. If Boston, with their offense and stuff, Pasternak and all those guys, Marchand, and all their, you know, supporting cast, role players, can find a way to get through Craig Anderson, I think honestly Boston could actually, this could be a quick series. But if Craig Anderson is playing like playoff Craig Anderson that we've grown to love and maybe hate if you're not an Ottawa's fan, you know, it could be a very, very tough playoff round for Boston, and probably one that they'll exit out of very quickly if they don't have an answer for Craig Anderson. Craig Anderson just, for me, one of the better playoff goalies in our time, and yeah, you don't want to pretty much get on his bad side, and especially with their coach Guy Boucher and his tight defense. Like, Guy Boucher's style or playing style it's geared for the playoffs. So once they get into the playoffs, if you remember the one time that Guy Boucher actually got into the playoffs, they went all the way to the conference final against Boston. So, you know, that's something that's very interesting right there. Okay, so we're now going into the game 2s here. Chicago up 1-0 in the series. Like I said, I think Chicago will win, but Nashville comes out and yeah, they'll take game 2. So they're tied up at 1, and they get home advantage because of that. All right, game 2 for Calgary and Anaheim. Let's see how they do. Okay, 1-1 after 1, 2-2 after 2, and they take the game 3-2 for Calgary. All right, so home advantage will switch because of that, as a result of that. So, or were they up 1-0? No, they're up 2-0. They're up 2-0, and I honestly think Calgary will actually win that series. Like, and also the crowd's gonna be pumped. They're gonna have, again, there's my Sesame Street word of the day, playoff adrenaline going on. I think honestly, you know, especially the way they got destroyed, like in 2015, was it, in the playoffs? I think they're gonna be looking for revenge. And I think they're a way better team now. They got more solid goaltending. They got good, like they got Brouwer and these guys that have pretty much gone far into the playoffs. And I think that's good leadership to have at this time of the year. So let's get into game 2. Toronto against the Caps. I think Washington's going to take game 2. Or not. Yeah, wow, 4-0. Can you imagine? Shutting out the Washington Capitals in Washington 4-0. See, those type of games, if they happen, they're game changers. Like something like that could really get a team going, and especially now you're going back home. Let's hope the Leafs really get in, man. I'm really rooting for the Leafs to get into the playoffs. They gotta win that game tomorrow. Okay, 1-0. Wow. So not looking good for the Habs. Not looking good, man. They're down 2-0, losing 4-1 after you're up 3-1 in game 1. What's going on? All right, next game. And for those of you out there, you are welcome to use these sim results in your NHL playoff bracket challenge on NHL.com. Don't worry, I won't come after you. But 4-1 for the St. Louis Blues. I think they tied the series, 1 game apiece. All right, let's see if the Oilers can get back into the series. You can't lose two at home. All right, good. Yeah. Home, man. Not like the Habs. Can't make that mistake. For me, if you lose 2 at home, man, I mean, teams have done it before where they've come back, but I mean, losing 2 at home, man. For me, this one of two things happen. Either you get eliminated, like in the next 3 games, after you lose 2, or you come back and you go all the way and win the cup. Because losing 2 at home to start your playoff series off, like it's not recommended, right? So that's why Pittsburgh, they gotta win this game, and they do. Even if something like that were to happen, I think Pittsburgh, I mean, they've done it before. I mean, their last playoff experience, which was a winning one, was very recent in their mind, I think, and they got like much of the same team back. So I think that's something. I think, like I said, Pittsburgh, they're well put together, they're playing well. I think they'll be a tough team to beat in the playoffs. Alright, so we're going through the game 3s here. So Chicago's tied with Nashville. Calgary's up 2-0 over the Anaheim Ducks. It's 1-1 for the Leafs and Caps. Montreal is in desperate need of a win. They're down 0-2. Tied up Mini and St. Louis. Tied up Edmonton and San Jose. Tied up Pittsburgh Columbus. And 2-0 Boston over Senators. So right now our Canadian teams not doing too great. I mean, Ottawa's down 2-0. Montreal's down 2-0. Calgary's up 2-0. And they're tied Toronto and Washington, and Edmonton's tied with San Jose. So, Canada, let's see if we can get some wins here. All right, so game 3 in Nashville. Nashville with the home advantage. First period, second period, they get a goal, and it's 2-0. So Nashville up 2-0, and I think they've been in this situation before. 2014 was it? 2015. But then Scott Darling came in. I think it was 2015. Yeah, Scott Darling came in, and we know the rest. Like, he put in some good, I think, 1 or 2 games there, and kept them in it until Crawford was able to get his act together, and they eventually won the cup. So you never know. Just because you're down 2-0 doesn't mean it's the end of the world in round 1, but you gotta win game 3 if you're down 2-0, right? All right, so Anaheim takes the game 3-0, and they close the gap to 1 game, or they're down 1 game now. Okay, so here's the moment where I've been waiting for. 1-1. You're back in Toronto, 1-1 after 1. Okay, let's see if they could. Wow. Excuse me. So do you think the Leafs could actually pull this off against the Washington Capitals? I don't know, man. The Leafs are like I don't know, like they're like a roll of dice, man. They can do it, they might not do it. They could really do it, they can't really do it. Like, you never know the Leafs, man. All right, Montreal. Oh, okay, Montreal's out. Yeah, they're done. They're done. And they're gonna trade Carey Price in the offseason if this happens. I just made a bunch of Habs fans very upset with that comment. It's not gonna do too well for my subscription needs here. But yeah, man, if the Habs lose like this, like, I know this is just a sim and it's, you know, some sim engine going on here, I know that, but like, if the Habs are outed like this in the first round, no, there's gonna be like some overhaul. I think players like Galchenyuk will be traded. I think Bolio will be gone. I think Price will be traded, especially with Lindgren. I think Habs management, they're not dumb. Like, they see what they got with Charlie Lindgren, and you honestly got to think about the future now, because this team you got, if they're not able to do it, then changes have to come. I mean, they changed the coach, and so now you're gonna have to change the player personnel, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so Edmonton probably gonna take the game. Yep, they take the game 2-0. So I believe they're up now 2-1 in the series. Okay, Pittsburgh looking to get back into it. Or no, are they up? No, I think it's tied now. No, I think Columbus is up now in that series, right? Yep. Alright. Ottawa has to win here. You got to get one at the Garden. You're probably not. Like, if they lose this game, they're out. Wow, yeah. See? Statement win. They're like, we're not going down easy. Not like the Habs. We're not the Habs. We're the Senators. Yeah. It's a corny commentary, I know. Anyways. Yeah, Chicago's like, yeah, we're coming back. And we don't mean business. Because we flopped. Oh, man. That's a flop. How are you up 4-1 or 3-1, whatever it is, and then just I can't take those kind of losses, man. Like, I'm not really a Hawks fan, but my goodness, man, I'd be upset. I'd be so upset. All right. All right. So Calgary looks like they mean business here. They're up 3-1. Toronto's looking to take a stranglehold. No, Washington's gonna come back in this game. Yeah, they're not. Yeah, the Washington Capitals, they're not gonna go down like that. They're not going down no 3-1. Let's see if Montreal can stay alive. Let's see. Let's see. I think they're done. Oh. Oh, yeah, they're done. Oh, man. Montreal swept. Can you imagine, man? All that hard work, all that drama, all the good, like, you're starting off the season 13-1-1. You have the coaching change. You start picking up play. It looks like you guys are, you know, caught your stride. You have, you know, teams are, you know, the rest of the hockey world is thinking you're gonna out the Rangers in 6, and then you get outed in 4. You can't even win one game. You're up 3-1 in game 1, and then lose it, and then never got back into the series. That's terrible. That's, like I said, after something like that, I really think player personnel will change. But let's go on with the sim here. Okay, so St. Louis, I think they square that up. Did they? Yeah, 2-2. All right. So Edmonton. Now I'm rooting for Edmonton now. They're that one playoff team I'm rooting for. Like, if that happens in real life, I'm turning to Edmonton to root for. Yes. All right. So they're up 3 games to 1. I really think that will happen. Like, honestly, that's one sim I think will actually mirror the real life, because like I said, San Jose, not right now, they're not playing too well. Sorry about that. Okay, so Columbus, will they be able to take a stranglehold? I think Pittsburgh's coming back. Yeah, they are. So I don't think Pittsburgh's gonna go away in the first round, man. I don't care what happens in the sim. Like Pittsburgh, like for me, certain teams, they're more than a first round team. You know, so I don't think they'll lose in the first round. All right, Ottawa means business here. They came back from 0-2. Now let's see if they could take Game 3 in Ottawa. All right. So Chicago is facing elimination. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the Hawks going down in 5 games? When has that ever happened? When is the last time that happened? But they're not going down easy. They're going back. I believe they're going back for Game 6 in Nashville. All right. So Calgary, excuse me, looking to close out the series. Anaheim's not going down so easy, and they don't. They'll force it to Game 6. All right. So now the Leafs just got to win one of the next 2 games. Oh, okay. Okay, Leafs. Come on, concentrate. You're up 3-2 going into the 3rd period. All you got to do is play tight defense. You've already let 28 shots in. All you got to do is limit them to 7 shots. Okay, so no more than 35 at the end of this game, and you guys have won the game. You've got it, and you probably have won the series. Okay, so let's see if we could. No, they don't. They don't listen. I said 35 shots, they're letting 39. So what? That was like 11 shots. Now they're going into overtime. Okay, all you have to do is get the next goal. All you have to do is finish this overtime period with 10 shots and limit your opponent to 7 shots. Just keep them at 7 shots. Keep them at 7 shots, you're good. All right, or just get the first goal, and you don't. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Oh man. That pep talk, man, went down the drain. Alright. I don't really care what happens in this series. Like, these 2 teams they don't really appeal to me. Maybe Minnesota a little bit because of Dev Dubnyk. I like his story, you know, so I think they're up 3-2 now, right? Yeah. Alright. Come on. Edmonton. You've been absent from the playoffs since 2006. You owe your fans a closeout at home. So, yeah, okay. Alright, they got this game. No, they don't. My goodness. Wow. Wow. 4 goals in the 4th period. I mean the 3rd period. That's insane. See, those type of games change the picture of a series. Now I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen from here on. That was crazy. I think they're shell shocked. Alright, so Pittsburgh up 3-2. Now Ottawa's gonna try to take the lead. I think Boston, they're gonna probably be pumped for this game. Or not. Oh, so Ottawa's taking the lead in the series now, 3-2. Alright, so Blackhawks, they're probably playing loose now in Game 6. Not too much pressure. Oof, wow, this is a game. What's going on? Okay, they're out. The Chicago Blackhawks out in 6 games. I don't know if that's gonna happen. That's pretty lame. I don't think the Hawks are gonna go out like that. They're playing good too, man. So I don't think so. Oh, okay, guys. See, for me, Calgary, if they don't score, they don't win this game, they're out. I think Anaheim will be like, okay, let's wake up, boys, and let's go finish it off at home. So for me, Calgary has good job. So yeah, Calgary had to win that. Certain games you can't lose, man. When you got your team on life support, you can't let them come back to life. You can't give them life. All right, Leafs. You're in front of your home fans. You guys owe them a win. You guys owe them a game 7. Yes, get, like 2 goals in the third. You can't let that happen, man. Going up 2-0 in the third, you can't give 2 goals. But you know what? You win anyways. That's what matters at the end of the day. It's not about how many goals were let in. It's about whether or not you won the game, and they win. So game 7 Leafs. Now let's hope they don't have a monumental collapse like they did in 2013. I don't think I need to, you know, get too much commentary on what happened there. So I'm sure you guys are all aware. Yeah, I think Minnesota should take this series in real life. So far, the only sim I don't agree with are the 2 teams that are eliminated. Or actually 3 teams. 2 out of the 3. Chicago, I don't think they're going down in 6 games. If they're going to go down, they're going down in 7th game in overtime. That's the. I'm sorry, if you want to get past the Hawks, that's how it's going to be done. For Montreal, I don't even think they're going out in 4 games. If they're going out in 7, but they can win in 6. And everything else, I pretty much agree with. I think sim is not 100%. I don't think it'll be 100% accurate, but it's kind of accurate. See, and now you've let the Sharks back into the series. Now the Sharks are they taste blood, and I think Edmonton's going to be eliminated in the next game unless they come out and win like 5-0 or something. Well, Columbus and Tortorella not going away easy here, eh? Tortorella got the boys fired up. So that's going to be a game 7. Okay. I think Ottawa wants to just end it in Boston. Boston. Alright. 2-0, yeah. Well, you don't know. Oh, yep. So Ottawa, let's go Canada. You know, 4-2. And they win the series. They come back down to 0-2, win 4 games straight. And they're on a 4-game winning streak. I think they got the momentum going. And I think they'll be facing New York in the next series. So let's see what happens here. Okay, let's see if the Leafs can actually get through the Caps. Can you imagine? No, they're done. Yep, they're done. They're done. You know what, man? I think the Leafs have a lot to build on after a season like that, but I think it's gonna end like that. It could go either way, but if I had to put my money on it, I'd put it on the Caps. But then you got Mike Babcock, so you just never know. Mike Babcock, I mean, he could get the troops riled up, so you just never know. Alright, Oilers 2. Alright, yeah, they got this. Okay. Wow. Okay, boys. Just scored the next goal. Yeah, you're out. Oh, that sucks. That would be so devastating. Can you imagine being up 4-0 in the 3rd period in Game 7 and can't close it out? Wow. Alright, so can the Pittsburgh Penguins defend their championship? Oh, no they don't. They're out in the 1st round. 7 games against CBJ. That sucks. Alright, so now we got Nashville against Minnesota. We got Calgary against San Jose. CBJ against Columbus. I mean, Columbus against Washington, excuse me. And we got the Rangers against the Senators. So what this means is we're gonna finally have a new Stanley Cup champion outside of Pittsburgh, Boston, Chicago, or LA, which have been like the winners for the last like 8-9 years. So let's see what could happen here. Now, if these two teams were to meet, I still think Minnesota's taking it in 7 games because of the Bruce Boudreau effect. But you never know. Nashville just took out Chicago, but they dropped game 1 to Minnesota. So yeah, I think Minnesota would. I think Minnesota could probably win it. If this actually happened, like if this happened after game, this situation, like semis situation happened after round 1, I think Minnesota is the cup favorite in my book, even over the Capitals. Just because I feel like the Capitals, they just get to like the semis or maybe even the finals and they just choke. I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's too much pressure on Ovechkin to score like 50 goals in the playoffs, but in any event, we got ourselves a very good, entertaining. Now, this is a playoff series I'd like to see. Just because I want to see Torts' comments after every game. Alright, so Canada needs to represent here. Wow. Yeah, I guess Henrik Lundqvist saving his best playoffs for now. Gets the 1-0 shutout in overtime. And Nashville comes back to take game 2 4-1. Home advantage switches to Nashville. That'd be a very interesting thing to see. But now the Sharks didn't have to travel too far to face the Calgary Flames. They stayed in Alberta. And they take game 2, so I believe now they're up 2-1 or 2-0. No, it's squared at 1. Alright, or tied up at 1, excuse me. Yeah, Washington takes game 2, and they're up 2-0 on CBJ. Let's see if Ottawa could get back in it. Game 2 semifinals. They gotta, wow. Okay. Statement. But they lose. And that's the thing that sucks, man, in the playoffs. You know, we're so accustomed to getting to overtime and at least getting a point or get something to show for it. You get nothing in the playoffs. Like, you lose in the overtime, it doesn't matter if you lose every game. Well fought game, you lost. It's over. Okay, Nashville's up 2-1 now? Yeah. Alright, Nashville. I don't know, I might be cheering for Nashville if this happened because, you know, PK Subban, ex-Hab, one of my favorite Habs of all time. So I might be, you know, cheering for PK and the Nashville Predators if the Habs get eliminated in 4 games. Gosh, man. 4 games. Can you imagine? I'm actually scared that's going to happen. I don't want to sound crazy, but yeah, I think, I don't know, I don't have that feeling about the Habs right now. Maybe that'll change after game 1. But right now, I'm like, I don't know, man. Yo, Rangers are winning all these games in overtime. Okay, so yeah, Minnesota's like not so easy, buddy. 4-0. That's a statement game. That's like, listen, we ain't going down so easy, man. That's what they just said with that game. All right, so Calgary now against San Jose, playing tough defense, and they win 2-0. Yeah, they need to win that game. Yeah, they have to win that game. All right, but you know, San Jose, they're known for coming back, man. They just took down the other Alberta team, same way. But I don't think that will happen. I think Edmonton will take them out. Especially Todd McLennan. He probably has some like animosity and wants to take them down. So yeah, I think Edmonton will win that series for real though. Wow. Okay, Ottawa finally wins in the overtime. Like, finally. Now listen, 3-1 leads are very dangerous because especially if you're in this case, I guess yeah, especially if you're the visiting team, only because Ottawa would just have to win at home, which they just won game 4. They're going into their building for game 5, and if they win that, they have momentum because now they won 2 games in a row and they're coming back into your building, and pressure's now on the Rangers. That's why 3-1 leads are very dangerous. Like, if you're up 3-1 in a series, you have to win the next game if you're up 3-1, because if you lose that game, you're in danger of losing the series, because like that would just slip out of your hands. And we've seen it time and time again. I know they're saying it's more and more rare if you're down three games to none, but once you win that one game and you're able to win the next game and you got home advantage for the next game, like, man, you just never know. That's the thing about the playoffs, man. Just never know. Alright, Minnesota takes that game. I believe they tied a series, if I'm not mistaken. No, they're up 3-2. Okay, my bad. Alright, Calgary's going to try to go to the conference finals. Can you imagine Calgary winning the playoffs? I mean, winning the whole thing, going all the way. Uh-oh. Okay. Calgary's not fooling around. They learned, they were watching that series against Edmonton. They were like, nah, we ain't doing that. We gotta take them out in game 5. So Calgary moves on to the conference finals. My goodness, can you imagine? So our hopes for an all-Canadian Stanley Cup final now rests with the Senators. If they can make a huge comeback and go to the conference finals, I think CBJ is gonna stay in the series here. They're now down 3-2. So you see what I mean? Those 3-1 leads, they're very dangerous, man. And now Senators at home got the home advantage. This game's probably going to overtime. Yeah. And no, Rangers are like, nah, we're not having that. But man, every game went to overtime. That's crazy. All right. Yep, so Minnesota moves on. And they'll face Calgary. In this sim though, I think Minnesota's gonna win though. I don't know, I just have this feeling. Not because I've done it before offline. I just have a feeling that they're gonna win. Yeah, Capitals are like, nah. Capitals finally getting to the conference finals. I think that's the first time. When's the last time they've been to the conference finals? Never. Alright, so this is a new plateau. And they got to get past the Rangers, their arch nemesis. Like, I don't know, man. They can't beat the Rangers for some reason. So, I don't know. Can you imagine the Rangers going all the way? Man, that would be so annoying. So stinking annoying, man. Wow, Minnesota 4-0 in the first game. Yeah, so I think New York's gonna win this series. Or not. Okay. Holtby holding it down. Yeah, okay, Minnesota's clearly the better team, so they're going to the. I think Minnesota's going to the finals for sure. Like, terrible. All right, that sucks, man. You grind it out for like 2 rounds, and then you get to the conference final, and you get blown out. Like all of that for nothing. That's like it's like the biggest tease ever. All right, Rangers take game 2. They are now up. I mean, they're tied at 1. Yeah, Minnesota, they're just built to win. I don't know. They're up 3-0. I don't think they're losing 4 straight. So, and I mean, Calgary can't even score a goal in this series, it seems like. All right, Capitals. They take game 3. 6-1. Yeah, Minnesota. So guys, Minnesota for the West. Oh, Calgary's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. All right, they push it to game 5, Calgary. Good job. Okay, Washington trying to get a stranglehold. Let's see if they could do it. Yes, they can. All right. Okay. So now we got 2-3-1 leads here, Washington and Minnesota. Let's see if Calgary can keep Canada's hope alive here. Canada's hope is on life support, and it's pretty much funeral arrangements. Yeah, they're done. So Minnesota's going to the Cup Finals according to the sim, and let's see if the Caps could do the same. I wouldn't put it past the Rangers. The Rangers, they might have a goal or two. Yep. So guys, 3-1. I'm telling you, those 3-1 leads, man. Those 3-1 leads are very dangerous. And now they're going back to the Garden, trying to push it to 7. Oh man. Okay, this one's a wild game. Okay, but they win it. Okay, game 7, guys. Game 7. If this goes to overtime, I'm gonna actually have the computer play just so we can see the game, the heroics. But let's see if someone could just close it out. Oh, the Rangers upset the Washington Capitals. Yeah, man, I don't know. I feel those two teams meeting in the playoffs, like Washington's gonna choke last minute. Alright, so Rangers are back in the finals. Minnesota's back for the first time since I think they played the Pittsburgh Penguins in the 90s, like in 1990, or is it 92? One of those years. Too young to remember. But anyways, so guys, out of these two teams, I don't know who's gonna win if they were to meet in real life, but for the sim, like I said, I'm placing all bets on what's that team's name? Minnesota Wild. So let's go. Game 1. Oh. For me in the sim, like the Wild have too much like offense, like, and not enough offense for the Rangers. So I think it would be like a sweep, actually. Oh, let's see. Yeah, like, yeah, they're winning this, guys. Minnesota, it's not even fun now. I know who's gonna win. It's like, it's obvious. Okay. Alright, so the Rangers able to get a game in there. This is the game they gotta win. Game 4, you gotta win. You gotta win at home. You gotta win your home games. Like they say, you're not in trouble until you lose at home, and they don't. Alright, so now it's 2-2. Maybe the Rangers could pull off a surprise. You never know. Okay, so if we're going based off of home advantage, this should go to 7 games and a Minnesota win. So, or not. Yeah, Minnesota takes it in 5. So there you have it. No, they take it in 6, excuse me. So there you have it. Minnesota's gonna win the cup according to the sim, guys. That's my prediction. But the likelihood of this sim actually taking place in real life, on a scale of 5, 1 out of 5, or scale of 1 to 5, I'll give it like a I would say 2.5, but I'll just say 3, just because I don't feel like giving a 2.5. But just to let you know how I feel about 3 out of 5. Like, I think they could do it, but I don't know, man. Like, I feel like Boudreaux always finds himself into those in those Game 7 situations, and I'm like, I don't know. We'll see what happens, guys. But like, I don't think it's like far-fetched to think that Minnesota could win. They actually have a good team. They have good defense, good a balanced offense. They have a good goalie. You know, those are all the things you need in order to win. So I think Minnesota could do it. So let's see the playoff stats. I don't know. Do they have like so who had the most points? Ovechkin and Parise. We'll give the edge to Parise only because he won the cup. But Koivu, yeah, those guys are gonna have to play good if they want to get past all of those teams in the playoffs. So, not surprised. Not surprised. Let's see about the goaltending stats here. Yeah, save advantage. So. See, Price can't have that, man. That's like a terrible stat to have. See, but Holtby, 11 wins, 6 losses, 196 goals against. Though, like, and you know, a 934 save percentage. That's something you're gonna need to win. They just weren't able to go all the way, but. Still, but look at Henrik Lundqvist, like 2.16. That's not that great, but it looks like they are opportunistic. Those Rangers, and they're able to win the games they had to win. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think about the results. So, just to show you guys, the Minnesota Wild would win the cup. I'm predicting that according to this sim. I don't know how I feel about it, but there are some realistic results in the sim, but I don't know how that's gonna pan out in real life. But we'll see. We're still waiting for the Leafs to make the playoffs, and then once you make it to the playoffs, like they say, anything's possible. But yeah, I think you know, I don't mind this result. It's just that I'm just, you know, crusty about my Habs being swept in the first round. So anyway guys, see you in the next vid. Look out, please like, comment, subscribe, refer. I need subscribers in order to get views, in order to get better content. So yeah, guys, please don't forget to subscribe and like these videos, guys. All right, and keep the motivation going. All right, see you guys in the next video. Take care.